This week on Hip Hop Now podcast, Funkmaster Flex rants on Tupac. What? Joe Budden is agitated by Lil Yachty's happiness, and Kool Keith has some true stories for today's hip hop generation.
Let's get right to business.
Read these headlines. This album must be gone. This album must be gone.
Come to Hip Hop Podcast. What up, y'all? You are listening to Hip Hop Now podcast right here on Death Star Radio. I am your host, Vegas. This is a podcast designed to catch you up on all things hip hop, music, and culture that happen throughout the week. Now, I mentioned Death Star Radio. That is DSR.FM. If you don't know, you can download the app via iTunes or Google Play. iOS, Android, same difference, right? So that means you can listen to it on your tablet, whether that be an Android tablet, any Android phone. If you got that fresh new shiny S8 that doesn't blow up, trust me, I have one. Hasn't even blown up yet, but if it does, you know, when I get some paper, you'll see it when I got the big crazy chain on. Or, you know, your Apple device, whether it's your iPhone, your iPad, or if you're old school, like I do sometimes, your laptop. Whatever it may be, you can check it out. There's other programs on the station as well, and uncensored hip-hop. Real hip-hop, you know, like the real, the traditional, that boom bap, them bars, like the criminal element in some of it also, but not all of it, you know. You know what I'm talking about, man. But please know that you can follow me on social media as well, at Vegas World INC. And let me clear that up real quick. When I say social media with that tag, at Vegas World INC, I am not talking about Facebook. I'm not. It's a different page for Facebook. I'm only talking about Instagram and Twitter, and Snapchat is there, but I barely open it. But for Facebook, this is what you do. Facebook.com/hiphop-right-now. Facebook.com/hiphop-right-now. Hit that like button, subscribe to this podcast, all of that good stuff. Let's get right into the business, though. Jay-Z and J. Cole, well, first, hold up. I like to thank hiphopdx.com, from which I'm getting some of these stories from, as well as allhiphop.com, among other sites where I aggregate most of this stuff. Jay-Z and J. Cole are set to headline the 2017 Made in America Music Festival. Other acts included are DMX. DMX getting his money, man. Run the Jewels. And for, you know, you millennials, they got Migos and 21 Savage. Some people like them, some people don't. But it's whatever. But there's enough there. There's also Rhapsody's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So you could check out Rhapsody. You know Rhapsody. Earth Gang is going to be there as well. Couple of acts. It's going to be a loaded Made in America festival this year. Check online for more information, because I don't work for them, so I'm not selling anything. Ja Rule. If you haven't been following the news, the Fyre Festival that was supposed to go down went crazy. People were like on a episode of Survivor, basically trying to live out there. None of the acts performed, and somehow Ja Rule is wrapped up in all of this, and he's currently facing a $100 million lawsuit. As one of the people, you know, was putting on for this. It's just crazy when you think about it, what happened. It was unfortunate for the people who went. They're talking about there'll be a festival next year. I don't think anybody would be willing to go. But it's just sad for a dude like Ja Rule, because when you think about it, right, Ja Rule was hot. He was hot. You can deny it all you want. I mean, I never really bought a Ja Rule album, even though I did like one of them a lot. I think I had it. But the thing is, Ja Rule was hot at some point. And then 50 Cent really set a trend in regards to killing people's character when it comes to hip hop, not just via music and diss records, but all around. He tried to do it with Rick Ross, but it didn't really work. But 50 kind of started that. But with Ja Rule, it's like people only really think about the beef with 50 and all the diss records, and he's just become this lame. So now he's trying to eat in other ways, and then this happens. And then he was in prison. Like, the brother can't lose, man. I mean, or he can't win. He can lose. He just can't win. But hey, it's part of business, man. Unfortunately, these things happen. So what are you going to do? Kool Keith said that current rappers kill their albums with feature overloads. And what's so on point about that statement from Kool Keith is the fact that Logic, y'all know how I feel about Logic, but no, it's no malice. But Logic just released an album that has a lot of features on it. And Kool Keith made an excellent point, and let's see if we can find some quotes. He said this, and I quote, "Features kill an album. I think an artist nowadays can't hold an album by themselves. I was on the whole Dr. Octagon album," and he just went into naming a whole bunch of people, but I'm not going to do that. "Most commercial features are pretty much predictable. That's cool once in a while, but I think people get carried away with stuff like that. So many features make it seem like the artist can't handle his own. He's not interested enough to carry his own, so you have to flood him out with a bunch of features, and soon the features become the stars on their own album. You start thinking the guests wrote the album." Interesting. What do y'all feel about that? Leave your comments in the comments section. SoundCloud.com/hiphoppolitic is where the podcast lives, but it's everywhere, including iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, what else? TuneIn Radio. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Hip Hop Now Podcast. Leave your comments. I will find your comments. And if I can't find them there, just hit me up on Twitter at VegasWorldINC. But what do you think about what Kool Keith is saying? Is this the problem? Is this something that we kind of overlooked? I kind of think so. I think what people enjoy about Drake, what people enjoy about J. Cole and Kendrick, let's just say those are three pillars if we want to look at the top or the leaders of the new school. All them other dudes don't really count. They're flashes in the pan. We know they're probably getting more spins than the three dudes I named. Trust me, they won't be around. They'll be replaced. It's happened before. But the three dudes who you can see having longevity in this game don't tend to have an album that's star-studded all the time. Sure, they collaborate with a number of people, but you still get a sense of who they are. And I think Kool Keith has a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you listen to some of these dudes and you hear about them, but what gets some of these fans to listen to their albums, like, oh, he got a song with Future. Oh, he got a song with this one. He got a song with that one. I remember when Jay-Z put out Hard Knock Life album, right? I think that's volume 2. I liked it when it came out. I know plenty of people who did not like it for that very reason. They felt like it was way too many features on that album. Damn near every song had a feature at a time where most people didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have any problem with it because Jay-Z was putting out an album every year. So before that, prior to that, well, let's say that his second album did have a number of features also, which I think took away from the album. But I felt like the Hard Knock Life album was a little bit more grounded in regards to those features. Like, they made more sense. It was more hip-hop. Let me say that. It was more hip-hop. I felt like in his second album, Volume 1, he was aiming for what Big had left behind, which was that commercial Puff Daddy Sheen type album, and it didn't work for Jay-Z. So, he had certain features and certain beats that didn't make sense. But he had features on Reasonable Doubt. Let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Because who was on there? Mary J was on there. Biggie was on there. Bleak was on a record. Sauce Money was on a record. Who else was on it? I was going to say Jay-Z. It's Jay-Z's album. Mary J. Blige was on there. Foxy was on there. Jay-Z had a lot of features. Jay-Z tends to have a lot of features, but he does stand out. Some of these rappers, no disrespect to Kool Keith, but some of these rappers, and it's not disrespect to him, to be honest, aren't that talented. Anyway, to not only have an album that they can hold down by themselves, why would they have that? They don't have enough content, and even if you're not talking about artists who have to have content, because we know some of these dudes aren't talented in a lyrical sense, right? We know this. Okay, you can't do that. You can't have a whole bunch of concepts and schemes and all. We get it. You can't even hold down an album of just radio hits. You know what I'm saying? They can't write enough radio hits to hold down an album by themselves. It becomes a situation where having that person on the hook, having this person have a verse is really what's the draw. And again, you walk away feeling like, well, I don't know this person. I like that one record, and I'm going to just keep it moving. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things where I'll say this, do not believe the hype. If you listen to this radio station, Death Star Radio, DSR.FM, available on iOS and Google Play, I know. But if you listen to this radio station, this is current hip-hop being played. This isn't a bunch of old stuff from old heads, Wet Dream. This is new hip-hop that's being played on the radio station. Unfortunately, this is internet radio, and there's a number of internet radio stations that keep that tradition of traditional hip-hop sound alive. But terrestrial radio, the one that you get in your car and you turn on, your local radio station doesn't. And they're really only about playing those hits. And there are even cases where I think if some of these dudes even tried to be like, I'm going to hold down this album for myself. What you think, Lil Yachty? I mean, that's his man talking to him. Nobody would, like, as a program director, if I'm a program director of one of these stations and I know that's how we get our money, but my audience isn't interested in you by yourself all the time, give me that record with Rihanna on it. Give me that other record you got with, Lil Uzi Vert. Give me those. Because that's what people care about. People only care about these, and honestly, they've been trained. But I'm going on a tangent. Let me just chill. Let's get back to some stories. But let me know in the comments what you think about what Kool Keith said. Twitter gives Joey Badass advice on how to be a better artist. Wow, this is my first time seeing this, so y'all got to give me a second. Now, I guess it was started by Joey, who released recently his latest album, which I love to death. Was listening to it this morning, called All American Badass. And he took to Twitter to say, talk to me, guys. What do I need to improve on to become a better artist? Assuming the music is all good, what outside of the music should I improve on? That's really dope for him to say that. And let's look at some of the fans from Twitter, what they said. Make it Kanye collabo. See? What did we just talk about with the features? The greatest thing, and it's the first dude on Hip Hop DX's story. The first dude they have up here is make a Kanye collabo. Look at the second dude. Make a song with Vince, Chance, and Kendrick. Features. Communication with fans. He's communicating right now. What were you, stupid? Nothing. You already doing what you meant to do. We F with it. So let's just say that the problem might not be the artist. Because Joey Badass can hold down an album by himself. His latest album doesn't feature that many features. You could barely tell, to be honest. But the first couple of people is do a song with him, do a song with him, do a song with him. Man, y'all been programmed, man. Y'all been programmed to feel like you can't connect with an artist unless you know he's connected to these other artists. Are you buying the albums? Come on, man. Ab-Soul hints at a secret album and leave fans at Top Dog's mercy. Ab-Soul went to Twitter and said, word on the street is we got a secret album in the vault, LOL. Now, we don't know if he's talking about a secret album that is his album. We don't know if he's talking about that Kendrick album that everybody thought was going to come out right after. Or probably more importantly, and what I would like to see, to be honest, a Black Hippie collaboration album. I think that's well overdue. I think it's time. I think it was time like last year for that to happen. Who knows? But yeah, looking forward to it. So if you don't know, Joe Budden has a podcast called Everyday Struggle. And we know about his feelings about Lil Yachty. He doesn't like him, like a lot of people, like myself. And he called BS on Lil Yachty saying on his podcast that he's always happy. Now, I gave my thoughts on this on an upcoming video. If you don't know, I have a little network on YouTube. It's called the B-Roll Network, the letter B, R-O-L-E Network. I do this series called One to Flow On, where I focus in on one topic. And I focused in on this particular interview. So you're going to have to go there and check it out. Now, if you have the Death Star Radio app, there's a link right there. There's the logo, B-Roll Network. You click on it. You can see my latest video, which isn't this, at least right now, not right now, but that video will take you to the channel from which you can watch all the videos and watch this video in particular. But real quick, let me just say that Lil Yachty was just explaining how the cover art for his album just shows people who are considered outcasts, and he's sitting in the middle of them. So there's like a obese woman, a gay couple, a woman with vitiligo. You know what I'm saying? The thing that they said Michael Jackson had when you have discoloration in your skin and all of that, and a couple other people or whatever, right? And he's sitting in the middle of them as an outcast. He expressed that he feels like an outcast in the hip hop game, and even amongst the people who do quote unquote mumble rap. And he was saying how he's happy all the time. Now, Joe Budden was already heated just at the sight of this dude. So he basically went in and just was calling his bluff on everything, saying there's no way you could possibly be happy when you have all these detractors to your music. And Lil Yachty was basically saying, I was poor before, hungry, couldn't get no play from girls, didn't have no cars, blah, blah, blah. And now I have all these things that I wanted, so I have nothing to complain about. As much as I don't like this dude's music, he's a kid. I have no malice against him. But I walked away, having a little bit more respect for him as far as his position in defending what he does. And he's not, at least not right now. He was in the past saying some nonsense, but at least right now in this interview, he was basically just defending his freedom to be who he is, and he should be able to do that. We don't have to like it. We don't have to buy it. But I felt like Joe Budden he made us look bad, man. He made us look bad, hip-hop, because he was agitated. So I don't know. You can check out my full thoughts on the B-Roll Network on YouTube. The link is in the app for Death Star Radio. Check it out. It's called One to Flow On. I'll be posting it pretty soon. By the time you hear this, it might be up. It might not. But if you subscribe, you'll know when it's up, and you'll be good, all right? Funkmaster Flex claims that Tupac accidentally shot himself at Quad Studios back in 1994. Funkmaster Flex, and I'm going to let y'all know right now, even though he got the Yankees gear on, that's my team, it's all good. But Funkmaster Flex, man, let me holler at you, fam. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you, fam. Yo, I'm Flex, man. Shut up, man. Please. Every time you talk now, you're becoming. Y'all remember when Nas was going crazy after the whole Ether stuff and the Hot 97 situation, and he started talking about Angie Martinez and Flex, and he was like, yo, look at his face. He's a cornball. Look at his face. That's how I feel about Flex. Like, yo, shut up, man. We know. We know that Tupac, look, if you're a Tupac fan and you didn't know or you want to believe he's Black Jesus or the greatest Black Panther ever, which he wasn't, but he shot himself, okay? Now, he didn't Plaxico Barris shoot himself. You know, he shot himself because he was reaching for the gun when he was getting robbed. That's how he shot himself. It happens, okay? Now, some may say, like myself, you ain't had to say safety on, fam. But, because you could have shot yourself without getting robbed. But the thing is, we know. Funkmaster Flex, man. Chill. Don't get it twisted. I know some people don't really know Funkmaster Flex history, so they're really quick to call him a lame and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get it. His timing is terrible. But he's still a legend in the game. He's a legendary DJ. He did a lot for hip-hop in the 90s. Those bombs are annoying now, but back then, man, it just meant something was happening, something exclusive that you couldn't get. Now he's just doing the old man. Now he's just doing, back in my time, well, guess what I know? If Tupac was alive, regardless if he shot himself or not, imagine the fire that he would send Funkmaster Flex's way. Just imagine how bad he would go in. Yo, Flex, we know. We know what happened. We don't need your help. Chill. Man. Big Boy is aiming to talk to Lee Daniels about an Outkast biopic. Now, Big Boy has a new album coming out called Boomyverse. I still don't like that name. But he spoke to Hip Hop DX and he let them know. We trying to get this Outkast biopic happening. I don't know, y'all. Atlanta peoples, let me know. Do y'all care about this? Is there more to this story that we don't know that would make it interesting? Because, see, I think the problem that we're running into right now is the NWA documentary was dope. And now they're like, who else can we do? But I think it would be better served. Well, we know the Tupac is coming, but the Tupac had been coming for the longest time. So we'll see how good that is. All Eyes on Me, I believe it's in June. That's when it's out. But honestly, I wanted to see either Run DMC, because trust me, the story, the behind-the-scenes story, we know Crush Groove, but that don't count. I'm talking about a real drama, because Run DMC had some serious drama behind the scenes. There's a lot that happens. Rest in peace, Jam Master Jay. There's a lot that happens, and I'm pretty sure the only reason why we haven't heard it is because maybe Run or DMC are like, nah, for whatever reason. But a Run DMC documentary needs to happen. Same thing with Public Enemy. Public Enemy seems like, oh, well, I don't want to really watch no civil rights movie about rap. It's not going to be that, fam, because guess what? There's a lot that was happening behind the scenes with them, too. And I'm not just talking about, Flavor Flav eating chicken and stuff like that. But with Outkast, I think I'm curious only because I don't know enough about what might have happened behind the scenes with them. And it'll just be interesting to know their story. I just don't think that's a major film. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, honestly, Outkast is big. I still don't think they're big enough. You know what I'm saying? For that. I think they would be better served with a documentary like A Tribe Called Quest. Because I don't want to see a Tribe Called Quest movie now. That documentary gave me everything I needed, and that was real. I feel like the same thing should happen with Outkast. But Run DMC has to be a movie. I'm sorry. Maybe even Wu-Tang. Nah, Wu-Tang probably is a documentary too. I don't know. Wu-Tang has a lot going on too. I don't even think you could fit that in the movie. So it would have to be a documentary also. Because who knows, man? It could be interesting, and it could be whack. It could be what we think. Who knows? And more importantly, who cares? No, I care. We care. Real quick, I know I've been talking about him like every week, but Kendrick Lamar's latest album, Damn, is certified platinum and has been reigning at the top of the charts. I'm not usually the type of dude to harp on charting, but I have to say, you know, I'm happy for stuff like that to happen, because let's talk about the bigger argument. This will be the last thing we talk about when it comes to sales, right? Hip-hop and sales fell off since the late 90s to early 2000s. It's kind of fallen off, especially with albums. You know, dudes ain't going diming no more unless your name is Eminem. Or maybe Drake. I don't know if Drake ever went diamond, but he probably came close to it. But I think it speaks volumes when dudes put out albums, regardless of how you feel about Kendrick's new album, whether you like it or dislike it, or maybe you don't dislike it, maybe it just feels like it's okay. Regardless, his intent lyrically and as an artist is what gets me excited, because that says that people are willing to pay for artists to do that. Because how many times we see all kinds of dudes like Future or whoever get a ton of press, get a ton of spins, but their album don't go platinum at all. Their singles go platinum. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure their show money is right, but it's not really about the hustle. It's about what we're doing as consumers. Are we buying these albums when we hear them? Are we streaming them enough? You know what I'm saying? And I think the streaming game kind of messed some of that up as well, because a lot of people, sometimes including myself, would prefer to just stream or listen to their friends stream, or, yo, let me get your password, son. Some people would just rather do that, and they had to make the streams count towards the sales, because that's just what it is in 2017. So I don't know. What do you do? When a new album comes out, you know you want it, regardless of who the artist may be. Do you go out and buy the CD whenever, wherever you can find it? Or do you go get it on iTunes? Do you get it the other way? You know what I'm talking about? Or do you just stream it? Because we also have these sites who will post the stream. A Tidal stream is posted, a Spotify stream is posted, iTunes is posted, where you can just stream the album from their site, which they probably pay for in some regard. Who knows? But what do you do? I don't know what you do, but keep listening right here to Death Star Radio. That's going to do it for me for this week. You can follow me on social media at Vegas World INC. Check out the podcast and subscribe today. If you want to hear past podcasts, because there's plenty of those, visit soundcloud.com/hiphoppolitic, or you can download the podcast and subscribe via iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher Radio if that's your bag. And check out my YouTube series, One to Flow On, right there on the DSR Death Star Radio app. You press the button, you go straight there, or you can just go to YouTube and hit the subscribe, like, and definitely comment. I like to know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? It's important that I know what the people are thinking. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Remember, y'all, I am not a critic. I'm a fan. Peace. Drop it on the random.